walk the highway of life without a safety net, to follow something even bigger than my pride, to show up with courage even when
Hi, I'm Emme Simon, and I'm with Creating a New Normal. And I'm very excited because this is my premiere show, Creating a New Normal. So I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and I was saying to her, you know, what is normal? And what I discovered, many people I work with, they always say they want to get back to normal. But most of the people I'm working with, I work with women who are in transition. They're struggling. Their life is full of stress. They're scared to take that next step forward. Maybe their relationship's not working, or maybe they've just broken up in a relationship. So they're all in transition, and they're feeling lost, and they don't remember who they are. So we were having this discussion, and I realized that creating a new normal is really about going beyond your normal. You know, not having a breakdown, but actually having a breakthrough. I had to remove the blocks, just like a garden hose. Just think about a garden hose. Like if you're trying to water your flowers, if there's a kink in the hose, the water won't go through. Well, the energy won't flow through you, so you have access to your greater mission in life if there's kinks in the way. So I help women actually remove the blocks from the physical body, emotional body, your mental body, to have more access to who you truly are, that spiritual being, so that you can reclaim your authority and author a brand new life of partnership, purpose, prosperity, and play. So I call it my 4 Ps. And so my first P is partnership, because I believe it's first, we've got to partner with ourselves first, and then purpose, because we know we're all here on a mission for something, and my mission is to help you really be who you came here to be. And then third, we're here to really prosper in our life, to have an abundant life. And fourth is play, because I discovered back when I was struggling in my life, I never gave myself any permission to play. And my play comes from my creativity. So I'm giving you some permission to play today with me on creating a new normal by going beyond your normal and creating a life you truly love.
and make my life a work of art. Call me fearless. I am fearless.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to my show, Creating a New Normal, and I have some good news and some bad news tonight. Now, the good news is that you are the creator of your life, and while I know a lot of us have a lot of good things going on, also, while we're successful in some areas of our life, we may have some areas of our life that we might be stuck or struggling. And, you know, that's the bad news is we do have that. But the good news is that you are the creator, and then you can change your normal. So I have some questions here for you tonight. And raise your hand. Are you willing to increase the amount of time every day that you feel good inside? Just raise your hand if you're willing to increase the amount of time that you feel good inside. My second question I have is, are you willing to increase the amount of time that your whole life goes well? Just raise your hand. And my last question, third question is, are you willing to feel good and have your life go well all the time? Who would like that? You know, to thrive in your life all the time. So there's 3 things that we talk about at Creating a New Normal. The first step in for us to start feeling good on the inside, we so much look outside of ourselves to see if we're feeling okay. And the first step is to focus on you. It's to turn your attention over to yourself and start looking inward at yourself. What that does, that actually gives you that spark. We talked about being the image and likeness of God. It actually aligns you to your God self by starting to look inside. And then secondly, we talked about saying yes. So say yes to your life. Say, those of you that raised your hand and said yes, you're willing to feel good and inside and feel well all the time. When you focus on that, what you pay attention to, your energy will flow. So where your attention goes, your energy flows. So when you say yes to feeling good and keep focusing on that, then you're going to start feeling more good inside, better inside. And the third thing is we talked about starting where you are. Just wherever you are, start becoming the explorer of your life. And I have found that when I was 6 years ago, my life was sort of crumbling apart, and I felt like things were kind of, a lot of people say I'm going crazy, or I feel like I'm lost. What I realized was that when I started looking inside, I also started asking some questions about who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? And I would have a hunch, tell me if I'm wrong, that you may be asking those exact same questions. Why am I here? Is there something more that I don't know? What is my purpose? And my guest tonight is Marsha Andrews. And Marsha has 40 years of experience in the mental health counseling field. Now, she has her private practice now, and she also does energy work. And her major focus is on spirituality, you really becoming who you really are. And tonight we're going to have just a wonderful discussion about what Marsha knows that maybe you might not know. I know I didn't know these things when I met Marsha. Maybe it was 5 years ago. Marsha asked me if I would join a closed group of 4 women, and we started studying mastering the human condition. And I started learning a lot more, but Marsha is full of knowledge, and I think it's going to be fun to have this conversation, and we'll be answering some of these questions. Why are we here? And if we look at, what is our purpose here? What's our mission here? And maybe we might even get to what is the one thing that stumbles us up, right? So I'd like to introduce Marsha Andrews. Welcome, Marsha, to our show.
Thank you, Emme.
Well,
glad to be here.
I am so happy to have you because I'd like to start our conversation with what is happening right now here on our planet? Because, there is, what I sense, there is a lot of fear going on. 2/3 of the women are asking for divorces right now. The fastest growing population are people in their 90s. And so, we have a lot more life to live. So I think it's a good question to find out a little bit about what do you think is taking place here right now, and maybe open our minds a little bit to what you might know about that.
Sure. This is a very interesting planet. I know as a young child that I often slept with my head out the window to study the sky, the universe, and I've been studying ever since. And some thoughts on where we are right now on our planet is that we are in a major spiritual transformation. This is a time on our planet like no other time. Everything's coming to the surface to be dealt with. Being an energy worker, I've been also studying energies, and the energy coming from the heavens and from Mother Earth herself is acting like a rotor-rooter for all of our issues. In the past, people could sit on the fence and often let work go, not address it. But today that's not possible. And our technology is helping with that. It's right on target. The internet, for example, videos of things that take place. There's no doubt about it. It's right in front of your eyes. So everything is coming to the fore to be dealt with. And we're making choices, each one of us, as to whether we're going to be part of the problem or whether we're going to be part of the solution. We can't hide things anymore.
Now, is that where our attention goes, our energy will flow? Like if you're focusing on the problem, is that being part of the problem? Or how do you...
Right, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We only stay with the problem long enough to figure out what the problem is, until we can figure out a solution. It is very important not to keep spinning the problem because what we give our focus to grows. So stay with the problem only long enough to get that solution and then switch energies. It's really important to work on the solution and not spend our whole lives just spinning the problems.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed for myself. My life really turned when I actually went from, everything was like looking at the problems and what was wrong to really being able to see, what was coming to the surface to be repatterned. And so then I could actually, so that's the solution, is really what was trying to be restored back into its natural order.
Right.
And when I started just keep focusing on health, like my first example was all I did, instead of going on a diet, I just focused on being health. And all of a sudden everything kind of switched for me when I actually noticed that I was focusing on health.
If our focus is primarily on the problems, we'll get more problems. If we're focusing on the solution, we'll get the solutions with a healthy, loving energy behind it.
Yeah, and I noticed someone told, back in 2011, that's when my life was really kind of spinning out of control. And I've talked to a lot of other people about that. And I did hear that there was a new energy that came into Earth, that it actually, like you're saying, now all those, whatever needs to come to the surface is coming to the surface. You said it was a roto-rooter, and they're coming up. And so more of us might be experiencing that inner turmoil. And
we are.
And we are. Yes, we are. So, I know for myself, it was sort of disrupting, but I also learned a lot about energy. And I know when I talk, we both are energy workers. And I know when I say energy to a lot of people, it kind of takes them back, like like they don't really get it so much. So can we talk a little bit about how, about energy itself, how the planet was created and what it is, and just sort of, it's scientifically been proven, so it'd be kind of fun to have that kind of conversation.
Sure. I'll share my thoughts, and it's not from any particular religion, but a composite that I've arrived at my thinking. In the beginning, there was this incredible source, and there was no beginning to it. There will never be an end to it. And source could call this God. There are millions of names that different peoples over time have named this force. In fact, I was just thinking force. I was thinking Star Wars force. Anyways, Creator Source decided to expand an experience. And let's just picture throwing out globes of people, spirits. And then these different spirits have a choice, as I'm talking about us right now, have a choice of where they want to be. And some experience, and again there's a saying that my father's mansion has many rooms. So might choose to experience this room that is a very light region. I mean, it is just heavenly. And others might want to start out by experiencing the lower realms. All different kinds of experiences. And when we've learned what there is to learn from this area, then it's a choice to go to another area. So there are people coming onto our planet from all different ways of being in different experiences. However, the main point is that all of us are tremendously interconnected with each other, and our source is divine from this incredible divine source that is everything there is. There is a tremendous connection with each other. And what I do to you, actually, I'm doing to myself.
Yes.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah, that reminds me, there's somewhere in the Bible it does talk about that whatever we do, it's affected for generations. And so there's that sense that if whatever I'm doing within me, then what you're saying is that could affect my children.
Definitely.
Or it could affect my mom or my grandmother, or they could affect even generations in the future for generations, that we have an effect. And I remember now on Christine Northrup, she was talking about how if you start losing weight, that it'll affect like your inner circle for 4. So she also used the number 4, that your inner circle might start losing weight. It's quite interesting. That happened with us a little bit. We all got on the same diet, at the same time, when the 4 of us that we got together. So it is kind of interesting how whatever we do, is what you're saying, right, can affect
Has a huge effect.
people around us.
It's not just actions, it's the energy that's attached to it that is so important. Energy has really no limits. It can travel. I can be thinking positive or negative thoughts about someone that I'm connected to on the other side of the world, and they are catching that energetic impact, and vice versa.
That's happened to me quite a bit, and I bet all our viewer audience has had this happen. Before you pick up the phone, you had the thought of your son, or maybe, and then your son's on the other end of the call.
Right.
And that does
Exchange.
remind me that if you would like to call in, and if you have a question for myself or Marsha, that number is 804-915-5202. And we welcome your calls if you'd like to ask us any question about anything that's on your mind tonight. We're here to serve you as a community. And so let's get back to some energy, because I know it's scientifically proven that everything is energy. Everything. So when people, to think that this table's energy,
Vibrating at a
it's
different
vibrating,
rate.
right? But it's at a denser.
Different rate.
Like when you said darker, it's like denser.
True.
And sometimes when I first started looking inside myself, it was pretty dark. It was kind of dense because I had a lot of emotions that I kind of suppressed. I learned to suppress my emotions when I was growing up, not really expressing them all. So then as I started looking in and saw, it started getting lighter and lighter. And is that all energy?
Yes. In fact, one important item is that people who are masters, and that would be a Christ, a Buddha, there have been many on our planet, have the control of the energy. We all are working energy unconsciously, and we're manifesting according to what our thoughts are, our feelings are. But the true masters, they don't have to age. They can travel without taking a train or a bus. They can really use the energy in a very good way. And they are masters because their hearts are very, very open, and they do not misuse the energy.
Well, that's one thing that I realized, when I did some energy work, I realized about light and dark, and that I really actually had a choice to choose where I wanted to focus my attention in the light. And I made that choice for myself. And I think that goes back to you making that choice of, if you focus on the problems, or do you focus on what's really going well? I think that all goes in hand, that once like what you said was, where you focus, it grows. Sometimes I say what you appreciate appreciates. So gratitude, what you're thankful for, it only gets bigger. So I have found those things have really worked in my life. The more I paid attention to what my desires are versus what was wrong,
I actually manifested more of my desires in my life.
In fact, I'd love to explain that process and
Yeah.
how it works. There's a beam of energy, well, actually there are lots of beams of energy, but there's a beam of energy that comes down through our crown, universal light, and it hits the pineal gland. And then
So let's just, I want to slow this down a little bit because there might be some viewers out there that might not even understand what the pineal gland is. But if you actually would actually just take a little string and right through your crown, the top of your head, almost about a couple inches down, right in the middle, is a pineal gland. Or is it called that? I always say it wrong.
pineal, I think. Pineal. Anyways,
Yeah.
it hits this gland and it shoots out your third eye.
Which is
And-
right here.
Yes, and whatever is attached to it, whatever vibration is attached to it, and that depends on what you're thinking and what you're feeling. So that if you're feeling really low thoughts, it's going to be a low vibration. If it's high, then that glorious energy goes out, and like attracts like, another universal law. And so it will attract like.
Yes.
And that's how we draw people and situations into our lives. And that's how we manifest. And some people are just, well, we're all natural manifestors.
Yeah.
And some people just have that knack of being able to create what they want. And that's because they're doing that in a very high energy that's shooting out and then bringing it into their lives.
Yeah, what I understand from my understanding is that when we vibrate at love, this vibration of love, love is the magnet, so love is a magnet to what you're actually thinking about in your words shape your thoughts, and then what you're feeling about. Now, what you're feeling about is here in your chest area, and so a magnet, so that will attract to you when you vibrate at this love. And if you, so it's not a repellent, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, it's an
like
attract.
a lower energy might be anger. You might be thinking the thoughts, but maybe you're angry, right?
And you will draw in angry situations and
Right.
angry people. I think of when I go to the grocery store. When I'm in a real hustle and I'm getting this item, I'm not rude, but getting this item and have to get in here and out of here in 10 minutes, I have a totally different experience with people than I do when I'm really there and I can enjoy and people speak to me and we make jokes. It's just totally different, and I prefer the second.
I think we all prefer the second. And that is just that slowing down piece, and really, sometimes just really being aware, being conscious, right? That's that looking inside that we talk about, just taking time to look at where you are and what's going on and being present versus, oh, you got to get somewhere. I know that lots of times I kind of even had that experience tonight because I felt like I had to get here, and I had my whole time like half an hour off. And then I just had to sit in my car in traffic as I was driving over and just say, I'm going to be there. I just saw the end in sight, and I felt myself, excited about celebrating. I was there in plenty of time. And I relaxed. And I think there's something about this relaxing that's really, really cool. And we talked about doing a little relaxation or meditation with energy tonight. Would you like to maybe share that with our family out here in our TV land?
Sure. Let's do a quick meditation, and I would ask you to use this in your own life. You can also do a shortened version, make it quicker. I will use part of this at a stoplight. If I've been really hurrying to do something and thinking about this and that, and I come to this stoplight, here we go.
Here we go.
Go to the breath. Breathe in the nose. Exhale slowly through the mouth, letting go of all thought. Breath in the nose, big breath. Exhaling slowly through the mouth, relaxing the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Relaxing. Breath in the nose. Exhaling through the mouth, clearing that mind chatter. Visualize a column of light suspended above your head. And this column of light comes from the very center of the central universe, where all creation began. Welcome this light to enter through the crown chakra at the very top of your head, filling your head with this brilliant, warm, loving light. It then travels and spreads down into your throat, into your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your fingers, down into your chest, filling all the different organs and glands, bones, nerves, down your back, your spine, lower back, abdomen. Picture it spreading further into your upper legs, knees, lower legs, ankles, and feet. And from the bottom of each foot comes a slender column of this beautiful energy. And these columns of light shoot down to the very center of Mother Earth, wrapping around a large boulder, grounding us in to Mother Earth's healing light. And then Mother Earth's energy, color it red, comes up, turns my feet red, ankles, legs, torso, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, red earth light, up into my neck, jaw, head, throughout my brain, and then exiting throughout the top crown chakra. And this column of red earth light shoots back to the very center of the central universe where all creation began. I am now filled with grounding earth energies and with divine universal light. Healing, balancing, cleansing, relaxing. And so it is.
Ah, and so it is. Wow. Now, I don't know about you guys, if this was the first time you've ever done this, and if it was a little bit more challenging, that's okay. That's just normal. Don't make yourself wrong. This is the way to just really relax yourself. I feel so much more relaxed, Marsha. That is awesome. I love that. Just a real quick tune-up, it almost feels like, in my energy.
Yes.
Yeah, so, when I was doing that, sometimes I had a few thoughts coming in, and I think that happens, especially when you first start doing something like that and you haven't done it, your mind might have some other thoughts. But one of the thoughts that popped in is that we talked about energy work and your practice, and I know I do energy work. I do Access Conscious Bars, which is 32 points on your head, and it actually, when those points are touched, like there's aging toasters, like you said, we don't have to age. We have thoughts about aging, and when we touch those, that grid of the aging toasters, it'll dissipate that energy, so that same old loop of, I'm getting older, I'm 50 now and I'm over the hill, some of that stuff, that will dissipate, and so that will fall to the wayside. So I'm curious about some of the energy work you do in your business and how you help your clients too with not just the cognitive talk therapy.
Sure. One thing I share, which I think is so important, is that every cell in your being has great big Dumbo ears and hears everything that you say. So it is so important to pay attention to what you're saying, because your body in turn will respond. And I have so many friends, I'm nearly 70, that are saying, oh, it's just terrible to get old and you fall apart and they ought to shoot old people. And I'm like, stop, because that is not my belief system. We really want to honor ourselves and others through speaking nurturing words and knowing that our body will usually respond in the way that we think and feel and talk.
Right. I think that it's important to, like, our body has this antenna on them, like receptors. And so whatever we speak in our words will shape our thoughts. And so that is also, every cell is hearing
exactly what you're saying and responding. That's what we talked about. Where your energy, where your attention goes, your energy will flow. So that's what's happening in every cell of our body. And unbeknownst to me, when I decided to get healthy, I actually picked up the book. I had turned 50, and I read that book, Younger at 50. And in the book, it talked about that we, instead of thinking about, I'm over the hill, because that was sort of the culture. Right. I'm 50, I'm over the hill, I'm going to get retired, I'm going to just go away and, sit on a couch, do whatever I want. Right. Well, it talked about doing just the opposite of that. That we really actually had to speed up our metabolism. That because our cells have been so programmed in a cultural, like a social, that 50, we're over the hill.
Right. Use it or lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was so amazing. Even unbeknownst to me, I had already started doing that by that book, and really reversing, like you say, that's not your belief system. I'll be 63 this month, and it's just like, oh, I feel like I'm 23. I actually feel healthier today than I did when I was 50, actually, when I picked up that book. So I have seen that for myself in my own life, that by reversing what I thought was happening, it really made a difference, because it was sending different messages to my cells in my body. I also have another experience of that when I went through my divorce. The Unity Minister and Sedona wrote a book, and it's about refilling. I didn't even know what I was doing, but one of the steps was, if you were actually releasing something, you needed to refill. That a lot of times we say we want to release something, but if we don't refill it, lots of times that old pattern will come back in.
Like nature abhors a vacuum.
Is that what it is? So oh gosh, you got a great name for it. So what I did every night when I'm going to bed, I would actually, about 8 times, what he talked about was, I just would breathe in through the top of my crown again and into my mind space. I use love and joy. He said, pick a couple of words, like it could be self-worth. You might be feeling, if you're going through a divorce, maybe low self-esteem. And joy, so I used love and joy. So I just saw love and joy, and then I took a deep breath, brought that down into my heart space, and felt that love and joy in my heart space, and then I sent it out to every cell of my body. And I just continued to do that. And then when I started studying with Martha Beck, she said, follow your joy. And so I started tracking my joy, but I didn't know I was actually programming every one of my cells for joy and love.
And using words and visualization.
Words and visualization, and actually, actually doing that as a practice and a discipline. And it just made a huge difference for me to move forward in my life and not have that old pattern running. Right. So you were saying that with the different energy work you do some EFT, I know you mentioned.
That's an emotional freedom technique, wonderful, with helping to heal traumas. Yeah. And then I'll also mix the energy work in addition to the EFT.
Oh, that's nice.
Family constellation work, NAET, it's a natural way of removing allergies. Just so much that's beyond traditional talking therapy.
Right, and the thing is that I started my first show is that I learned that you cleanse, how you really heal is you heal 4 different levels of healing. So one of them is the cognitive, the mental, but one's the emotional, one's physical, and one's spiritual. So there are all these 4, they call it 4 subtle bodies.
And so connected with each other.
They're all connected, and so we can go in and cleanse all 4 of those bodies with these different energy work and put in what you really choose to have. You really get more access to your own joy, but that's the thing that you need to focus on, is access to your own joy or your own love or whatever emotion that's coming forward.
And another way of saying that is doing the work that we're here to do in the first place, so that we can really remember who we are as these wonderful divine beings.
Yeah, thriving, right?
We don't always look that way.
No. So that brings me to that wonderful question that everybody asks, like, what is our purpose? Why are we here? You know, what's going on?
Let me share some rules for being...
We've got a
okay.
caller.
Sure.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, during the show, earlier you were talking about the pineal gland.
Yes.
Is it true that the pineal gland crystallizes?
Yes. Yes. Hi. I have some direct experience with that. I have some direct experience with that. Yes, it can crystallize, and there are ways to by putting pressure, like our feet, reflexology. If you go get a map of your foot, there's a pineal gland on your toe, I believe it is, and you can actually press that area of your toe, and that's going to actually help decrystallize your pineal gland.
Oh, okay, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I study with Mastery Systems and Robert Tennyson Stevens, and he has a body electronics class that I attend, and literally that's what we're doing is touching the different areas of our glands that have crystallized as we've aged over our life, and by having them melt, because what happens, they melt. The pineal gland is your God antenna, so you actually have more access to your own awareness when that is not crystallized.
I see. Do you have a website with more information I can get on there about the areas of the body to enhance the pineal gland?
I'll tell you what, he has a website called masterysystems.com. Now my website is Creating a New Normal. The fun thing about this, and I'm glad you spoke, because Robert Tennyson Stevens is coming to Richmond, Virginia. I have him coming to the Unity Church on July 20th to our summer sizzling series at the Bon Air. So I would recommend, if you're really interested, you'll be able to get to see and hear. He has a book called Conscious Language, and we're talking about our words, and he has there is a code, and we all know this heart code, and we have what he talks about been put under a spell. It's called the Babel. And so when we were talking about manifestation, when we say like I can't and I don't and I won't, we're really denying ourselves our good. And so there's a way to get back to our own heart language. And I'm actually got a meetup that I'm starting to promote that. And you'll see that on my website at creatinganewnormal.com.
Okay, I'll visit that. One other question. Do you believe there are different levels or divisions of the spirit?
Different levels or divisions of the spirit. Marsha, I'm going to let you.
Oh, definitely. If you had if you had to describe the planet Earth and, tell somebody that was from another planet all about the planet Earth, and you had like 24 hours, you couldn't even come close. This is such a complicated place. Yeah. And if you were to describe these different levels, it's like you can't even see us compared to the universe and the billions of universes and the billions of planets. Yeah. And it's a very complicated system. So yes.
I see. And so you do believe that in the phrase as above, so below?
As above, so below. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry, I'm not going to hold you up anymore. Thank you.
No, that's
okay,
good.
Well, thank you for calling. You have a nice evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mm-hmm. So I think that brings us back into the question I asked you.
Why we're here.
Why we're here, what's our
about.
purpose, and what's it all about? Yeah.
Right. I'll share some rules for being human.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. One is that we have a physical body. You may like it or you may not like it, but it's yours for the entire trip here now. number two is that this is a school. Planet Earth is just this incredible school with rich learning experiences. And you may like your lessons or you may not like them.
Now, I have a question right here. Can I interrupt you? So this is what I realized, that I just love experiences. So that's what you're saying. It's like it's a school and we experience. And what I realized that sometimes we make it hard because it's just fascinating versus it can be easy. I'm starting to see that my experiences can be easy or it can be hard based upon the way I choose.
Right, totally.
So I think that's interesting that we're here to experience, you know,
and learn and grow.
learn and grow
And it's really,
expand, right?
Yeah, and every religion has stated this in so many different ways. You know, it's really about opening the heart and learning to be loving, learning to remember who we really are as these incredible beings, and that we're so interconnected, and what I do to you is like I do to me. And it basically boils down to learning to be more and more kind.
Yeah, and you know, and our word is our body, and I know I really just made this connection. You know, it's really being kind to ourselves, like you were saying,
as well as others.
However you nurture you is how it's going to affect others in your life.
Right.
So it starts here.
Because if my tank is low, I don't have it to give you. So it's very important for me to be nurtured and well taken care of so that I can do that with others.
Yeah, and I know, and so many of us women, I know, we put so many other people out in front of us, and then we always put ourselves last, but I'm starting to see how so important it is for us to put ourselves first and do that nurturing to us, or at least set some good boundaries, healthy boundaries, of knowing that after 9 o'clock I don't have a really complicated discussion with anybody, right?
Right.
You know, because you just know, if I'm tired, I'm grouchy. That's
Right.
just the bottom line.
And I'm also thinking of that mask of oxygen. If you run into trouble on the airplane, what did they say? Put your own mask on first,
know.
so that then you can help.
That's such a great example, isn't it? You know,
really
I love that. Yeah, so I interrupted. We were only on number 2, so keep going.
So we're here to learn lessons. And actually, I believe that when we're on the other side, we set it up as to what we want to learn this particular time, and the different players. We take a lot of time. I know people out there, you know, saying like, no, I never would have chosen that. But we do. And it's all about learning. There are no mistakes, only lessons. And when we do learn the lesson, then we go on to another lesson. And what I had, this is really important, a very important point, is that when a lesson comes up, and it's like, okay, this is really important, the universe is saying for you to get this, and it's like gentle. This is usually the way it goes. And the person will go, no, thank you, I'm going shopping. I've done that before.
Right.
And then the universe, after a while, goes, it's really important that you start to pay attention and work on getting this lesson, and you don't, and then it's like, and then it's,
knock, knock.
And so much wonderful learning goes on when people are half dead in the hospital. That's the harder way of learning.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been able, these are not just words, I've been able to track this and how it works, not only in my own life and people that I care about, friends, family, but also people I really care about who are my clients. And there have been times when I've been like, you know, it's really important to get this because the universe has been upping the ante here, and if you don't, it's the hard way.
It's the hard way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hard way.
So I'm always putting out, I choose to learn my lessons gently, lovingly, thoroughly, permanently, in perfect health, joy, and peace.
Oh God, that's a mouthful. Well, one thing that I recognized for myself when I woke up and I knew I could change my normal, and you know, when things weren't real, the stuff that I was struggling with, instead of really seeing it as if, oh, I would say to myself, oh, before, it's like, why is this happening to me? You know, but if I'm really here to learn lessons, I say to myself now, why is this happening for me? You know, what am I not seeing here? You know, or what might be right with this situation that I'm not seeing? And what I find is just asking the question and sitting with the question, why is this happening to me? I allow that to unfold. I don't have to
True.
find the answer. I don't have to figure it out. But I might be taking a shower, or that, like we talked about when we're relaxed, and all of a sudden the answer pops in. And it can come in many different ways. It could come in music through a song.
Yes.
Like the other day, I heard "Let It Be," and that song by John Lennon.
Perfect timing.
Literally, I was in the shower, taking a shower after doing yard work on Sunday, and all of a sudden, I heard "Let It Be" again, and I was thinking about something, and I realized a lesson. I realized something that I was doing in a relationship, and that I needed to let it be. And it was just so like amazing when you just sit with the question,
Yes.
and allow those things, and just so
Good
the
point.
more you pay attention to maybe the same words, or it could be on the back of a license plate or a billboard, right? You know, you have clues all around you. That's that little tapping that you're talking about, you know, like these clues are out there.
They are, and it's called synchronicity. I mean, sometimes if there's a book that you really need to read, it can fall off the shelf and hit you in the head.
Absolutely.
Whenever somebody tells me, or different people tell me about a book, number 3 person tells me within a 2 or 3 week period, I'm like, okay, I gotta get it, gotta read it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's certain things you learn how to pay attention to. And I'm not making light, and neither is Emme, of the harder lessons. And there are times that I certainly haven't seen the sense of the learning when I'm in the middle of it.
Right.
And it's been when I'm looking back that
Yeah.
it was like powerful learning, powerful.
Yeah, I separated, now it's been 4 years, and I am really still, right now, seeing some of my learnings from that relationship. So you can always look back, like you say, and it's hard to see them all when you're in the whole, what I call the mess of it all, right?
Exactly.
But when you're through the storm, you know, and you're in the eye of the hurricane, that's the time to just sort of reflect back. One thing I like to do every year is at the end of the year, just look at what happened in my year. And then I set up my intention for this year. So when I heard that song, there's 2 things I heard, was "Get Out of the Way" and "Let It Be," the song "Let It Be." So I've used that as a theme for me this year, is whenever I try to figure something out and try to make it hard, right? I just tell myself, especially my mind, because sometimes my mind wants to I say, get out of the way and let it be easy. You know, just let it be.
Right.
And I have found that's really been my theme song for the year.
And another way of getting the job done is to know that life can be a lot like a treasure hunt. And when you're working with the universe, if you can figure out, you know, pretty much what the lesson is, or at least the direction of the lesson, then it's like, I do my part, then the universe steps in and it does its part, and then I do my part, and it is very much like a treasure hunt, following the path.
Yeah, I like that. I always, you know, I kind of thought it as breadcrumbs, but I like the treasure map. That's really great. Like, it's like that next little gem on the path, you know, what's next? Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll start thinking about it as a treasure hunt now. That's pretty nice. So, is there anything else you would like to just sum up, you know, tonight?
Well, we're all in this together on planet Earth. It's a very important time on our planet. And we're moving into a new continuum. It's already begun. And it's letting go of the old way of doing things, which is a patriarchal kind of society, and instead not moving to a matriarchal, but to a partnership where men and women really work together along with the interests of the planet in a cooperation. It's not a better than, less than. It's not a king of the mountain. It's letting that go and really being in respect and awe of each other and all that is.
Yeah,
and
I
all
just
that is.
love that partnership time. It's time to
Partnership.
come together and partner and to really learn and grow,
Very
expand. And really, it's a time right now that it's really important that each of us really stand up and
Speak our truth.
speak our truth, but also know what's our reason for being. Why are you here? And it could be, it could be just to be the greatest mom that you can be, It really is a lot of different things. It could be that you're just here to shine your light, and that makes a difference. Or smile, right? Just smile.
It's holding the light, holding
this energy that we talked about earlier.
In the big scheme of things, it's not about the money, it's not about the power, it's not how my pretty face looks. It's not about being the president of the country or of a CEO making $1 billion. It's not about those things. Those things can be fine things to do and be, but it's really about being loving.
Yeah, because we are love, and we talked about love last week, and God is love, and we are love, and so if we get back to love, we can actually manifest all of our desires, and we'll be the magnet for our good. I like saying, I am the magnet for my good, and just lining in with that energy and attracting the things that I truly desire in my life. And you can do that too. That's what I want to say. If I can do it, if Marsha can do it, you can do it. And I know when the soul is ready to evolve and to grow, our spirit, however you want to say it, it does not care about what size of house you have or how much money you have. That's what we came here to do. Like Marsha, you said, we came here to learn and to experience and to be a contribution to this planet and open our hearts. Yeah, right. Yeah. So I encourage you all to just start taking a look inside. And as I asked those questions earlier of you, are you willing to give yourself are you willing to take more time to really feel good on the inside? Are you willing to really have your life go well most of the time? Are you willing to do that? And I just want to say to you, I am so pleased that you joined us tonight. I actually am a life upgrade coach and a bio-optic holographer. And so one of the things that I am offering you as a community tonight is I'm able to actually take a picture of your eye. And by taking this picture, you've often heard that the eyes are the window to your soul. And in the Bible, it said, let the weak man say, I'm strong. So what I'm able to do is really see a picture of not only your body. Back in the 1800s, they discovered that our iris actually is a picture of our bodies, but we also, I'm able to see that unconscious feeling world. So if it's unconscious, we're just not aware of it. So I'm able to see what is wanting to actually be reversed and repatterned and renamed to become your greatest strength. And it could become your greater mission in life, like what we were talking, your life purpose. So if you would go out to my website and under my contacts, you can set up a 20-minute complimentary coaching call with me. And for the first 3 people, I'm going to give 3 complimentary eye readings to the first 3 people that set that appointment out there on my website. And that was going to be airing. It's www.creatinganewnormal.com. Now you're welcome to set, because I'm on also a mission for this month. The value is normally $150. But I'm on a mission this month to do 25 eye readings for $25 because I really feel like it is the time now for people to do their purpose. And I just want to thank Marsha for coming on to our show and being here with us. I mean, I enjoyed just learning a little bit more from what you know, and I know that we talked a little bit earlier that you would like to bring, bring more of this and be able to do this more in a group setting. So I look forward to being able to come to one of your group settings and talking a little bit more about our subject. And in closing, I just wanted to say you can change your normal. So whatever is happening out there, in your life, you have the ability. You can do it. If I can do it, I know you can do it. And all it is really taking that next step of taking that responsibility and start looking inside and start saying yes to your life, yes to more well-being, yes to more wealth, yes to more love, yes to your purpose. And by doing that, what Marsha was talking about is that if you're more aware of those little pats, the messages in this treasure map, you can start following those little gems that are coming forward and the next step. And you can ask yourself, now that you know that we're all here just to learn lessons and to have these experiences, just ask yourself, why is this happening for me in my life? And allowing yourself to really become more aware, looking inside. Stop looking outside to know whether you're feeling good or not and if things are going well. Start asking yourself inside, because the real answers come here from within you. And this is about you coming back into your own authority and really authoring your own life with purpose, with the peace, and with play. Because I love to just play in consciousness and become more aware and evolve and really understand more about why we are here. So I really do appreciate that you are here with us tonight. And again, if you have any questions, you can go out to my website. And I, again, thank you, Marsha, for being here.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Have a great day. And I would like to just say, bye. And you know what? It's a great night tonight. Go out and enjoy the weather. It's a beautiful day here in Richmond, isn't it?
Beautiful.
I'm so happy that we were able to have this conversation talking about purpose, the universe. I love the fact to think of myself as a universe in training. Like I'm the center of my universe, and that whatever I can create whatever I choose to create in my life. That's pretty powerful, isn't it? Thank you for being with us tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you so much for watching my show, Creating a New Normal. All about going beyond your normal and creating and becoming the author of your own life and reclaiming your authority and creating that life of partnership. Because it really starts with you first. Prosperity, purpose, and play. So if you would like to come into my outdoor space and get to know me a little bit better so I can get to know you a little bit better, you can check me out at my website, Creating a New Normal, and you can contact me through /contact, and I have free complimentary discovery sessions of your new normal, and I'd love to get to know you a little bit better. And secondly, you can like my business page on Facebook, Creating a New Normal. And then also you can access me through just going out and getting on my newsletter, my list. And I have actually some videos now out there for you to be able to really learn some more of my favorite practices from my midwife bag of tricks. And there's also Instagram and then Twitter that you can contact me through. So I'm looking forward to coming back and playing a little bit more with you next week on creating your new normal. So let's just go beyond our normal and let's just thrive in our lives. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week.